which takes us to our next section, which is Star Citizen. I told you last week that we are going to, cover Star Citizen more. We're going to continue to cover it as it goes. I want to correct a thing sort of that I said last week. Last week I said flat out, hey, don't buy ships ever. Don't buy things ever. Let the crazy stupid whales pay for all the stuff. You get it all for free. That is a way that you can play Star Citizen. No doubt. That is a thing you can do and you will be fine. You can get all of the things in Star Citizen without ever spending a penny on your credit card other than the original $45 or whatever. That's the thing. You can do it. However, I want to sort of modify my statement because the statement that I made was an attempt to attack the false statement that the only way to proceed in Star Citizen, the only way to advance in Star Citizen is with your credit card. That is not true. You can pay $45 and never touch your credit card again and proceed through all of the stuff and get all of the ships in Star Citizen 3 months after they come out. The next patch, the next quarterly patch, you can get it. However, I had a lot of comments on the video that they said, hey man, I don't think that what you said is right and here's why. Like, I appreciate you saying Star Citizen is awesome to check out. I appreciate you suggesting people like here's how they can get into it. But you said if you spend a penny on Star Citizen, you're an idiot, and or paraphrasing what I said. And I disagree with you and here's why. I think Star Citizen is a crazy ambitious product. I think it is a project that I definitely want to show my support for. So I choose to buy stuff as my way of showing support. And I just think that the way you oversimplified it was not healthy, was not good, was not nice. And I think that you should really rethink how you phrase that. And I have to say, they're exactly right. If you spend money on Star Citizen because you absolutely have to have this ship, you're an idiot. End of story. However, if you spend money on Star Citizen because you say, and here's the deal, you could be an idiot. You have the right to spend your money however you want. That's your business, whatever. If you spend money on Star Citizen though, because I've thought about it, the way people said it, I was like, you know what? You're right. I always say with Elite Dangerous, vote with your dollars. If you don't like what they're doing, which I do not right now, I don't buy ARCs. I'm not buying their stupid shit. But back in the day when they were releasing stuff that I liked and were saying stuff that I liked, I bought ARCs. Not because I give a shit really about the, I have to have a paint job. I have to have, this sunglasses for my commander, or I have to have this hat or whatever, whatever. I bought ARCs because I wanted to vote with my dollars and say, good job. I like what you're doing. Here's some support. So I want to modify what I'm saying, and you listen to me very clearly. Hear these words. You do not have to follow my way of doing it. Every man and woman decides for themselves how they want to sort of proceed with things. I have decided, and I haven't picked a dollar amount yet, but basically what I've decided to do, what makes sense for me is every patch going forward from now on, when Star Citizen releases a patch and I look over it and go, ooh, I like that, I'm going to spend maybe $25, maybe $50, maybe $100. I don't know. I'm going to figure it out. They do like 4 patches a year, so I don't know, maybe 50 or $100. If I spend hundreds of hours in Star Citizen a year, it seems fine to me. On the patches that I approve of, I'll give them maybe $50 or $100. And on the patches I disapprove of, I will give them $0 because I don't approve of it. So my reasoning on this has evolved to the point of saying, if I like what they're doing, I'll support it. If I don't like what they're doing, they get no money from me. But if you are not, I mean, COVID is a serious thing right now, and there's a lot of people out of work. If you're in a position where you're like, man, I cannot afford to spend money on stuff like that, give them $0. That's fine. You will not harm yourself. You'll still be able to play and enjoy and whatever. But I just think it's a super ambitious product, and I'm at a point now where I'm tired of people being ballless to not strive, to not try to do crazy deep shit. So when I find somebody that's brave or stupid enough to do the crazy big thing, I'm like, fuck yeah, I want to show you a little support. Having said that, I'll say patch 3.14 is in Evocati. It's been in Evocati for like a solid week. You can go onto Star Citizen Leaks and see the stuff that's in there. To me, there's a couple things that are cool. There's a couple things that I'm like, I don't really care about this. I don't care about that. The things that I think are cool are they're making some additions or changes to their crime and punishment system that I like. And that's the little thing. The big thing, the thing that has me super excited is they are adding Crusader. Crusader is added to the game, and Orison. So Crusader is a gas giant. So you'll be able to fly in the upper atmosphere of a gas giant. And the way the gas giant works is the deeper you go down, the more pressure there is. If you go too deep, your ship will explode. There's going to be gas pockets and things to, dip and dive and shuck and jive and whatever. And there's a whole aspect of gameplay that's related to that. As somebody who is a huge space nerd, I am there for that. I want to fly around in a gas giant. They're also having these huge space whale creatures that sort of float around in there that are way bigger than your ship, apparently. And like they're sifters. They just like sift around. They fly around with their mouth open and sift through like microscopic fucking stuff that floats in the gas. So they're not trying to like eat you. It's not like a dragon that's trying to kill you, but they're just a thing, just like a tree or a mountain where you're driving your car. Like if you bump into a tree, the tree's not trying to kill you, but the tree will absolutely kill you if you're stupid enough to drive into it. Same thing with the big space whales. They're there. They're not hunting you, but if you're dumb enough to crash into them because you pass through a cloud, because they have all these weird volumetric clouds that they're working on as part of this, and you happen to bump into a space whale, well, you just bought a ticket to a rebuy, son, because your shit's fucked up. But like, holy shit, that's cool. And in addition to being able to fly around in a gas giant, Frontier, please make that, you can land in a cloud city, that Orison, that is amazing. Like, it is Vespin City from fucking Empire Strikes Back. You could go hang out with Lando Calrissian. They have an amazing floating city thing in this gas giant, and they even have a bus that goes from like pod to pod, flying all around. Like, I want to go to there, and it's with Evocati now. It'll be in PTU, which is like, so just to explain how they do patches. Evocati is like a closed alpha where it's only certain people get invited in. You have to like spend a lot of money or be a part of whatever that is like, only invite by invite. And you have to actually even sign an NDA. So you're like, the stuff that's in there is supposed to be super secret. Spoiler alert, it leaks like a sieve. Just go to the website, Star Citizen Leaks, and you can see all of the stuff that they have, which I think CIG knows that happens, and they're okay with it. It's kind of like their way of wink, wink, nudge, nudge. We're going to let this information out and kind of see how our major player base reacts. It's a way of doing it. Hey, I even though it's a little hinky, I'm not going to complain about any way that a company chooses to share information with their crowd. But like, hell yes. So there's that. Then after it's done with that, it goes to PTU First Wave. PTU First Wave is only like, it's not the whales. It's not the people that spent a lot of money and the like special streamers and whatever, but like just people that have already that were previously part of the PTU. I think that like they gave good feedback or whatever, like you get invited to First Wave. And you get to see that like a little bit earlier, and that's like sort of the beta test of their new patch. And then it only stays there for a short amount of time, and then it goes to PTU General. PTU General, anybody that has an account in Star Citizen can go and sign up for it. That's like sort of like the extended, like larger beta or something where you can just sort of, okay, everybody gets to see the stuff. And then after that, like about a week or so after that, it releases to PU, which is the public universe. That like it's in the game now. Everybody gets to play it as part of the extended alpha or whatever. So, long story short, we're about a week to a week and like a week to 10 days, somewhere in that range of it getting dropped for everybody to get to play with. And I am going to go and fly in a gas giant, and I am going to go and land and hang out with Lando Calrissian and drink some Colt 45, and it is going to be a fucking good time. Katie Burns, hop in on this.
I just wanted to say that I've recently started playing. Now, I already had the starter pack, so I played for a little bit after upgrading my system earlier in the week, just to see if I enjoyed the game, and I did. I really, really did. So, following your advice, I looked at the ship upgrades, and for a couple of extra dollars, I could upgrade to the Avenger. So I thought, yeah, why not? You know, it's worth it, and it's going to a project that I believe in. Like you said, I think I am the person who would buy Arxie and who had to have a certain paint job, and I don't think there's anything wrong with microtransactions in support of a project you believe in. But as you say, I'm already eyeing up in-game with in-game credits the next ship, and the fact that you can get all of the ships you want in game. But I'm very much enjoying Star Citizen at the minute.
Yeah, it's fun times. I want to point out a correction. Stuart GT said in the chat. He says, and if I'm reading this correctly, he said PTU Wave 1 would include people that paid $1,000 or more backers and $10 subscribers. So you can you can subscribe to the thing or what. Like I'm sort of newer to the thing, and I'll be honest with you, with regard to Star Citizen, I've been a cheapskate so far. I've been guilty of that. In that I just was like, hey, here's $45. You don't get any more. I'm going to change that. I'm going to expand, and I'm going to put my money where my mouth is as a grown-up and say, hey, you're doing ballsy stuff. I like that. Here's another $40. Here's another $50. And I'll probably just sit on it for a couple patches, and then like I'll buy a $200 ship or whatever, because A, I've got a good job. I can afford it. And B, I feel like, and again, I'm not telling you what to do with your money. You feel free to never pay anything. That's your business. That's not my business. But me personally, I want to support what I think is a worthwhile project, and a project that has some balls and is doing a big thing. I want to support that. Roy, you're up.
Yeah, I had a fun little thing happened in Star Citizen earlier this week. I was flying around doing some missions, trying to save up for some ship upgrades, and someone wrote in the chat, hey, I need some help, ran out of gas, and I'm like, oh, I'm up for a rescue mission. And so I figured out where they were and worked out the nav. They were they had basically dropped out of the quantum drive between two planets, and they were just literally stuck in the middle of space. And learned a bit about the mechanics of, joining a party and getting them to set a beacon. And anyway, figured out my way to fly there. And when I got there, the way that I actually rescued him is I just flew up next to him in my ship. He EVA'd like out of his ship in his spacesuit. I opened the side door on my ship, and he flew into the interior of my ship and then walked up towards the cockpit. I closed the door and flew him back to the planet. I thought that, it just was intuitive and it worked. And it was immersive. Like, he literally got out of his ship and flew into my ship. And that's, a few things there, right? EVAs, super cool. Interiors, that was functional. Like that's a functional use of an interior. Someone can fly into your ship if you're rescuing them, and it's sort of a physical rescue. So anyway, I just thought that was fun. That was fun, and it was something obviously I couldn't do in another game.
I did the same thing with Ben Moss Woodward, Edelweiss of Lave Radio. We were playing Star Citizen during the Xeno Threat event, and we flew a ship over close to one of the derelict ships, and we jumped, like literally open the back door of your ship, jump out into space with your little fucking rocket pack, fly over to the other ship, go in, like grab the rail. Like it felt like I was in The Expanse, where remember where Miller jumps across to that thing. So like I jumped across, and then we had to like run around and like find these packages, these boxes, and like there's some bad guys in the other ship. You got to shoot them and then take the boxes, and like I was throwing boxes from one spaceship. Like he had his spaceship as close as he could, so it was only like 30, 40 feet away. But I would like throw a box and it would float across to the other ship, and he would catch it and like put it down on the. Just oh my god, so fucking cool. All right, I feel like does anybody have anything else they want to throw in on the Star Citizen stuff before we move on? Because we got other stuff to get. SIRRUF, hit it up.
Oh, yeah, thanks. In 2018, I watched a video about Star Citizen. Someone on the internet called it the best advertisement for Star Citizen ever made, and that was basically a live footage from the game where someone who was actually a noob, he was just starting, he was flying in a ship around the planet, and he was just he opened the hatch and was checking the planet underneath, and he accidentally stepped out of the ship, and then his friend started to chase him when he was falling down the to the planet, to his death. He was trying to chase him down to catch him so that he could enter the ship, basically to help him out. And with Elite, when we were all waiting for Odyssey, we were all hoping for a lot of stuff, and one of those things that we were hoping to see was EVA and that kind of stuff. What we got was basically a shooter that is not even an Elite. I could probably say that it's a separate game where you go to conflict zones, and you can do a little bit of grind, or maybe a lot of grind if you wish, and maybe walk around the planets in your explorer suit, but you can do it as well in any other suit. Anyways, I just wanted to say that we didn't get the game we were hoping for, and I am very, very hyped for Star Citizen at this moment. In 2018, after I watched that video, I asked myself a question: am I playing the wrong game? Have I made the right choice? And right now, I'm asking myself the same question. And yes, as Katie said, she started to play Star Citizen again recently. Well, she's not the only one, but I am going to purchase Star Citizen next week as well. As soon as I get paid, basically, I would probably have done that by now. Not that I'm abandoning Elite, nothing like that. It's just that I was hoping to do the EVA, to do that crazy stuff, to be able to touch the panel and open the hatch door when I'm in space. Instead, I didn't. I got something completely different, and I guess this is a quite universal feeling across the Elite community. So yeah, that's that, and that was a reference to what Roy said about that EVA thing. Thank you.
Right on. Make sure you use somebody's referral code. Mine is on the screen right now. You don't have to use mine. Use Katie's. Use anybody else that has a referral code. But use some code because it gives you free like $5,000 or $10,000. I forget. It gives you free something when you start. And Sometimes that's it. You just get some extra money. Sometimes when I started, I used Sovereign from Sagai magazine. I used his referral code and I got an extra little golf cart. I've had other people message me that they used my referral code and they got like a speeder bike that's like all black Drake speeder bike that looks like it works kind of like the speeder bikes from Empire Strikes Back or whatever. Like, cool shit. So just make sure you use a referral code if you're starting the game so you can get a thing for free, whether it's money or money in a car or money in a speeder bike or money in a whatever the hell it is they're doing at that time. I have no way of knowing as it changes from time to time what it's going to be in the future, and I haven't looked into it that much, but just get a thing for free if you're going to do it. Soldier Sailor.
Yeah, so speaking of Star Citizen, I've actually recently downloaded it too. I've played it for about an hour so far, and I've just been running around on the planet that I picked. Can I just say the suit design in Star Citizen for like your armored suits is fantastic. It's honestly what I was hoping to see from Odyssey. I really hope that as Odyssey moves on, we get to see more variety in the suits, like we see in Star Citizen, because my God, they're gorgeous. Like they really put a lot of like. There's so much detail in Star Citizen, like warning stickers on things and like all those the little things you'd never think to add unless you were in a real environment. Like I've given Star Citizen some guff in the past, but I do have to compliment them. They are really good with like little attention to detail things. Like when you look at like a moving part and there's like warning stickers on it, like to, not stick your fingers in the gears, like things that you would see in real life but you don't think of, like for a video game. I love that little attention to detail that they do.
Yep, I get it, man. So just two things I want to address. Number one, and we're going to close this out. Number one, the thing that I like the most right now about Star Citizen is this. They put out like 3 videos a week of stuff. One is called Inside Star Citizen, and that is just like, hey, here's news, here's stuff, whatever. The second is... I forget, like Around the Verse or Call the Verse. It's like the guy, they have like one community they maybe have more, but there's just one that I know. He's kind of more of a chubby guy with a beard. I love that fucking guy. He's cool, and he'll just show up like on a call and have like 4 guys with him that are actual devs of the game, and calling all devs. That's it. Thank you, Dunkalora. Calling all devs, and on that guy, he's Tony something. There's the skinny Tony and the chubby Tony, and I love them both. But like the chubby Tony, he's the one that is like their community guy, and he will just do like an hour long like talk with their devs, and like they're brutally they're like just honest. They're like, hey, we tried this, it didn't work. And like sometimes like one of the devs will kind of give like a little jab at the other one. He'll be like, hey, whatever. And it's different devs, different times. And it's not like the elite streams where like they have a script and they're only allowed to say very whatever. Like they straight up mix it up. They say silly stuff. There's that one Asian dev guy that comes on and he says dumb, silly shit. And I fucking love that guy. And he seems really like smart. But just, I think it's so refreshing to have a developer just go, hey, we're going to tell you honestly what we're trying. Some of it'll work, like a lot of it'll work, a lot of it won't. Sometimes we say, hey, something's going to be out in June, and then they're like, oh, sorry, we tried. Here's what we found out. It broke. It blew up in our face. We screwed up. It's going to be now July or August until it, whatever. And yes, I get it that there's a certain amount from the Star Citizen community of like the people that have been around for a long time that they're like, they can get a little salty sometimes. And we're like, you said this was coming in June and it's not coming in June. It's coming in August and I'm pissed. I get that. I do. But from a frontier, from an elite viewpoint, I'm looking at that saying, wait, they tell you shit? That's an option? They can tell you shit? I want you to tell me shit, and some of it'll work and some of it won't, but I'll deal with it, whatever. But like, they tell you shit? And then the third the third sort of weekly thing that they put out, that one is only for the people that like pay $10 a month for like the subscribers or something, but you don't really have to pay for that because the what do you call it? They're like other content creators. You can go watch more Morphologist or Board Gamer or Salty Mike or this one or that one. The people that cover their shit, Space Tomato, Space Cucumber, Space Tomato, I think. The people that cover their shit, like they'll pretty much tell you everything that was in there and even have clips. So you don't have to pay for that $10 one. You can just get that one for free secondhand from other people and you'll get all of the stuff that's in there. They put out one that was 48 minutes long. It was like an hour long or whatever, like 3 weeks ago that I linked it to Katie like a week ago when we were talking, that it's their main guy, the skinny Tony Zergovich, Tony Z. He is like their sort of like their Dr. K. Ross or their Dav. He's like their like crazy genius dude who just like spins off with stuff where he starts to go and you're like, what the hell, man? He did it like an hour-long one explaining their Quantum, which is like their version of the BGS. No community managers to interrupt him. No anybody to like every 5 seconds go, okay, stop talking now. We're going to do a free giveaway for a purple paint suit. Like, no, just nonstop, one dude, the genius, talking, no one else to interrupt. And it was gold. I'm going to admit, I'm a Marine. I understood maybe 10% of what he was saying at most, but just the fact that the dude was out there doing it and they had the balls to put it out was fucking beautiful. So, all right, I'm done talking about Star Citizen for this week. Join us next week. We'll talk about it some more.